So we just got back from a trip out to Cape Cod, and I noticed a flaw with my setup. So in the morning time, everybody wants to sleep a little bit later than me. And so I want to get up and make coffee. But what happened was my kitchen stuff are in those cases right there. And so that means I have to unload everything out of the truck to get to those cases to get my kitchen stuff out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to build a drawer system underneath my fridge. I'm going to raise this up about 10 inches, and then I have the fridge on top. So I got to do some measuring and make sure it'll all fit. But that way I can just have a drawer slide on lockers that'll slide out, and I'll have all my kitchen stuff right there. And then I'm going to make a little cutting board that'll sit down in there. So I can set that cutting board on the bed of the truck, put my stove right there, have all my kitchen stuff right here. Be easy peasy. So stay tuned, check it out. We're gonna get busy. All right, so this is the first step in getting this ready to modify. That's my fuel tank that I'm using for the diesel heater, which I want to stay in here. But what I've decided to do is I'm going to build this out into one long piece that goes all the way back, and then just make a separate piece for the fuel tank to be part of it. So the drawer slide will be a little bit wider. Kind of has to fit where that fender well goes, but it'll be a little bit wider. And then I'm just going to have the drawer piece be this 28 inches of right here where this is, and then the under drawer will be about the same as what the fridge slide is, and that should work. I don't want to take up any of my real estate here because I want my dog to be able to still be able to sleep in here and stuff. But yeah, that's it so far. I'm going to take that fuel line out and put a cup under there to get the fuel. But that's worked really, really well for the diesel heater. So it's 3 gallons, so that it will actually run the heater for quite a long time without having to refuel. So, and then we'll take this out. And then what I decided on the bottom, I'm not going to have one solid piece of wood. I'm just going to have strips, maybe 3 different strips of wood, just for the bottom piece, and then it'll be solid down there because I want that all sealed, so that way if the diesel ever leaks, it stays inside that box. It doesn't get inside the truck. But yeah, it should work. So I got to take this out and then start doing some measurements and start doing some cuts. That's my big sheet of plywood right there. I went with the finished pine because it was about $20 cheaper. It's about $65 a sheet, and I'm going to paint it with the same rubber paint spray that I used for that in the back there. So I don't think it really matters that it's pine. I looked at the birch. The birch was like $83 a sheet, and I'm gonna paint it. So it's like, well, I don't really need a nice finished wood because I'm gonna paint it, so it's all good. But yeah, so this is gonna really free up a lot of real estate over there, and I think I want to make it about 8 inches tall, which will give me enough room to store everything in there, and then just miscellaneous things like the lamp and speakers and wipes and whatever, you know, lighters, things like that, fuel cans, all that kind of stuff will be able to stay in there. So I think it's good. All right, so I'm going to film as I go along. I got everything out. I'm going to make this 44, and then I'm going to make it 22 inches wide, which will make it just a little bit bigger than where it was, but it's kind of the same as where the fuel tank was. So this is actually 21 and a half. 22 gives me half an inch. 23. Let's go 22 and a half. We'll make a compromise. Part of it is I want to make a lid that just fits down in inside here, but I need the tank to be able to fit in, and so I need to put like a little lip right here. And if it's perfectly the size of the tank won't fit. Yeah, so the tank is my big issue, because I want it to be able to fit inside there perfectly. So let's go ahead and measure that and make sure we're on the money with that. It's really 19 inches, so 22 and a half should look fine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my first piece. So the lid will be 22 and a half, which means the inside will be, so this is a quarter, 3/4, so the inch and a half shorter. So 22 and a half minus an inch and a half will make it 21. And the tank is 19. I think I'll do it 23. That'll give me a little extra. Oh, here's the dog with the ball. All right, so let's go 23 by 44. On top of it, I went ahead and marked the holes. I want to put those. I want to put the grip nuts on the back of this so that it can be secure when it's up there and won't move anywhere. So I'm going to drill holes through there and put those in, and then that'll be painted black. And so I decided to go with 8 inches. So the board below is going to go underneath this, so it'll be 8 3/4 inches tall, and then the bottom plate will go on the inside of that, and that will work. So I got to cut 2 44 by 8 inch pieces right now. All right, so the next step is I drilled a hole in each end. I'm going to line this up. I'm going to add glue to the top of it, and then that's going to be my sides. So I'll go ahead and get those set up next. Okay, and over here, I didn't pre-drill this, and you see how it's split, so I'm going to take that one out. Okay, I'll put that towards the back. Won't even matter. So I pre-drilled all of them. So I'll do one right here. And with the glue and the cross bracing, it'll be pretty solid. Okay, so now I'm going to put the screws in. Okay, so this is what I got done. This is the bottom, and these are the pieces that will mount to the truck. Flip it under. There's the cabinet. This is the gas holder. So that fits in there perfectly. And then the drawer will be right here. And it looks like, with the tape measure, probably about 6.5 inch drawer when it comes down to it, but it is a almost 9 inch rise in height, and then the refrigerator will sit right on top of that, so that'll be pretty high. So let's throw it in the truck and see what it looks like. Alright, so there we go. So that's what it looked like. Refrigerator is going to be a little high, but it'll still work. And let's see, everything closes up properly. I like our keys. I need those. Yeah. So, yeah, here's what it is. The only mistake I made was when I put this top on there, I forgot that that was the opening for the fuel tank, and I need to be able to get to it. So I had to cut a little piece to fit in there. But this will be all painted black. It'll blend in well. I'll cut the carpet so it'll butt right up to it. I'm gonna put the screws that hold the fridge in good, and then when the hinges come in, I'll go ahead and make the drawer. Those will be in on Thursday. I'm not going to cut the drawer until they come in because that has to be an exact measurement once those are installed. I'm going to put the drawer in, and oh, you know what I forgot to do? Ugh. I meant to make this overhang like ½ inch. I might just recut that top piece because I have enough plywood there. I could recut that and make that perfect. So that would, otherwise, I could make the drawer face just butt right up to this, and that could be it too. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know, lots to think about. All of this is in my head, so I thought about it on my drive home from Cape Cod. So all the plans are just swimming in my head. This will screw down to this plate right there and there. I'll put screws in the box on the other side, so that'll hold this secure. But yeah, should work well. All right, good morning. So it's the next day, and I got all this done last night. The thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand this up, smooth out all the edges so I can get this painted today, and then I'm going to make a lid for this. And then what I bought, I'm going to rip this piece of poplar and make and put it like so that the lid will actually screw to this, and then this will be like so it'll fit down in there so that the lid won't move around, and then the lid will just pop off. Kind of similar to what I did before. I don't have it like, sorry, don't judge me on my garage, I'm busy. So here I put this here so that it would slide down in the box, and then the lid wouldn't move around. So kind of the same idea. Gonna do that, get this all painted up, and then the good news is Amazon said my drawer slides would not come in until Thursday, and we're leaving on this next trip on Thursday. So I got a message today saying it's coming in today. So the drawer slides will go in here. So I have two heavy duty slides that are 28 inches long, and then I'll build the drawer once I get those, because I need to know that exact measurement right there. I guess the only thing I wish is that it was just a little bit taller, but part of it is that if it's too tall, then see, I only raised it 9 inches, but if it's too tall, then that fridge is going to be like way up here, and that's going to block my view out my back window and everything like that too. So here's what it is. It'll work. It's gonna, what I really don't know right now is how much space it's going to save me by not having all this extra stuff, because all the things hanging, you know, I can put a lot of that in the drawers once I get my kitchen stuff in there. Maybe my kitchen stuff will fill it all up, I don't know, but it's going to be better. We'll see. Worst case scenario is I take it all out and just put it back the way it was. So alright, so I'm going to get busy sanding. Alright, so I got all the sanding done. What happened is last night when I put this on here, I was off just a little bit. So that it was kind of like so. So I just sanded down the edges and got that lined up. I just cut this board. This was actually the board that was part of this top piece. And so what I did is I just lined it up. So that's going to be the lid for my fuel tank. And I'm going to drill like a little hole so you can like pop it out. And then this is the poplar that I'm going to line. I'm going to split this so it's only, you know, ½ inch thick, and that'll be the edging around the inside of the lid, so that way the lid won't slide. But yeah, that's it. So I'm just kind of filming as I go. Nothing too spectacular here. So I'm going to finish the lid, wipe it down, and then spray it with the rubber paint. And then this part will be done, and then when I get my hinges in, we'll get the drill bit. Okay, just so you can see what I was talking about. So here's the edges I made. I measured it out, and then this fits just like that. See, and then the lid, I'll go ahead and put some on the end so it won't slide, but it works well. Okay, so that's how the lid will just sit, and then my toilet thing will go right on top of that. So the toilet is this old foldable toilet, which fits right on top of that. So it's all coming together. Now comes the paint. So this is the Gorilla Waterproof Patch and Seal Rubberized Sealant Spray. That's what I used when I did my 80/20 wood that mounted to it, and it's held up really nicely. So, but I am left-handed, so I cannot do this right-handed, so I got to switch. But yeah, this isn't really that interesting. Just going to lightly spray. I did move the cars back out of the way so there wouldn't be any overspray on the cars. So today I'll put multiple coats of this on here, and you just don't want to do like a solid spray because then it'll run. It's better just to do multiple small coats and get a good cover. And I bought 3 cans of this. Let's see, that's gonna go in and match the truck just perfectly, so it'll look good. And then you don't really have to worry about a lot of the imperfections in the wood because you're covering everything up. And then this one I'm gonna put a lot inside here because the reason for the box is if the diesel does happen to spill, it won't get into the truck. So that's why I built the box originally, and I haven't had any trouble at all. So it's worked well. So, and then this little notch right here is where my fuel hose will go into. All right, so I'm gonna put the camera down and get this done. Okay, so the drawer slides came in today, and this is them, 28 inches, and they're locking, so they'll lock. And so basically my next step is I'm going to line it up here, unlock it, and put the screws in. So you gotta, like there's a screw hole right there, so get that all lined up. And then the measurement across between the two comes out to like 19 and 7/8. And so I'm probably gonna get as close to that as I can, so that way it's just a perfect fit. And then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna screw these down now, and then go ahead and get the bottom piece cut and the sides cut, and then yeah, and then on here I'm gonna probably put a couple pieces of cardboard just to give it a little bit of lift before I screw the drawer in, so that way it has some space for clearance. I would say too, one of the advantages of not having one solid piece on the bottom here is that I can get to the screws a lot easier. Test fit. I want to make sure that the bed can close properly. Yeah, so I got plenty of space. And then it's going to be nice. You know, and then these lock, and they're heavy duty, so they can hold like, I think 250 pounds, something like that, so it should work good. And then, yeah, so let's get busy on the drawer. Alright, so this is just a test fit of the drawer. It's got a little bit of space in there. Hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, and then I ended up going, it was 6 1/4. I ended up cutting the quarter off and just doing 6 inches at the top, so that way it would have plenty of space to clear everything. So the next step, I'm going to take these back off, put the glue in, and then make my inboards, and then go ahead and screw the drawer to the sides. Very exciting. Okay, next step, I put this end in, and then I'm gluing everything too, because once the glue dries, it makes for a really, really tight bond. It makes for a solid structure. So I cut these just about perfect, put in there, and then I'm pre-drilling all the holes and using these long screws that have a really small head on them. These are PVC trim screws, 2 1/4 by 8. It's working really well. But yeah, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to make maybe 2 dividers, and then make a 1/4 one here, or half divider there, and get all those put together and screwed in. And then I probably won't do it before the trip, but I want to get some type of sealant or something, some sort, to put on this wood as it's in the drawer. It gives it a little bit of color. But yeah, okay, that's where I'm at. This is not much of a DIY, do it yourself, DIY, but more of a just showing you as I go how I'm putting things together. So it looks good. I'm happy with it. And then before I put the drawer in, I need to mount the Dometic fridge slide on top of here, and then that will, because I have those, I bought some nuts that go underneath, so I need to be able to get access to that. So we'll do that, and then put the drawer in, and then we're good to go. So here's the little nuts that I'm using on the slide. It has the teeth and it grips. It just gives it a little more meat to bite into than just screwing right into the wood. Alright, so I got this mounted in. I put 3 screws through the wood plank on this one, the second one, and then back in the fuel tank box. And then this is mounted with, you can see these all through there. I don't know if you can see them, but those grip on the other side. So now I'm just down to the drawer, and I actually want to make my dividers before I put the drawer in. So I'm going to work on that, and then I got to make a faceplate and paint it, and then we're done. But this works. It holds all the weight of the fridge. I got my toilet thing back there where it went before. I still have my space here for my ladder and all that kind of stuff that I was storing over here. And then this is going to free up, I think I'll have my food box and a duffel bag for clothes. And that should be it for gear. So I think that's going to be good. It's going to give me more space somehow. We'll see. Okay, here's my dividers. These are just set in here. I haven't screwed them in yet. I'm going to get my silverware and stuff out and make sure they're the right widths, because last thing I want is not to be able to get my knives and stuff in there. So I might make this longer and then put some spices and stuff right there. I don't know. Let's see. Bigger dishes back in here. So I'm going to get this stuff out, see what it looks like. Okay, so the drawer's in. Walks in. I got the faceplate cut there. I kind of botched. Well, these have to have some room to play, so there's a big opening there, which I was hoping to be a little bit tighter on that, but I just want to get it done now. So that'll fit here. I'm going to sand it down and then spray it black as well. But yeah, it works good. And then I purposely cut this a little bit shorter because I'm hoping to get like a cutting board to fit recess down in here, so that way I can set it over here, set my stove on it. So anyway, let me get that faceplate finished, and then we're gonna have a finished product. Pretty cool. All right, so here is kind of the finished product. I cut it, recessed it right here so that I could actually put a cutting board in here. That's what I wanted to do. This is just one from the house. I was actually wanting to make one that would take up this whole space right here, and then it'll just ride right there, and then it closes just perfectly. So that has my entire kitchen in there now, everything that I would need except for my stove. And so the stove will have to ride back here somewhere. It'll probably fit right on top of that toilet right there. But anyway, the idea is to have the cooking stuff easily accessible. So maybe I'll just put some little hooks or something right here, and I can just bungee the stove right to the side there, and then that way everything's easy to get to. So when you get into camp, you just slide it out, get everything you need. I was also thinking about just getting like one of those just a little burner that you could hook to a 1 pound propane, so that you could just set it up, make coffee. So waiting on that to dry over here. I would say the thing I don't like about spray cans like this is it left some, it kind of sputtered a little bit and left some bigger drops on there. It doesn't really matter. It's, if this was for like, if I was making this for a customer or something, I'd be a little bit more careful, but it works. I'll let that dry a little bit longer, screw it to the front of that, and then it should look good. So I'll show you that when I'm done. So I probably need to touch up the paint a little bit. I had to do some finagling to get this to work properly. I had to shave this back because it wouldn't shut all the way. But yeah, that's it. And then open it, the cutting board, all my kitchen stuff. So it's exactly what I wanted, and that will work. And that's a wrap. So thanks for watching. Comment if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer. Thanks.
GoPro stop. Stop recording. GoPro stop recording.